Hey, welcome to Old Ass Movie Reviews. I'm Scott. There's Dave next to me, this way. And today's review is another old movie. What year was this? 1960? 1959?
You know
Something.
what?
The Wasp Woman, a Roger Corman production here. And boy, does it show. But
Yeah.
I actually enjoyed this movie. But before we get rolling with it, take a moment to hit the like button, hit the subscribe, tell your friends, tell your mom, tell anybody, just give us a listen, give us a shout out. I'll include a link this time around to a page that y'all should check out on Facebook. If you don't, and we've talked about it before, Dave and I have characters that we created to make little comedy skits, Donny, Jones, and Skeeter.
Yeah.
And we were recently in a short film that's making the festival circuits and everything called The Skunk Ape, about the Florida Sasquatch. And it's a pretty funny film, and I can't wait till we could show it to you. But I will link the Facebook group or page to that so people can take a look at it and give Shannon Williams, the Skunk Ape creator, some love, will you please? And Shannon, thank you for listening to us and giving us a shout out almost weekly. So appreciate it.
Thank you. Very nice of you. We do appreciate it. I know I appreciate it.
Oh, absolutely.
You didn't even like me. I mean, you were hitting me all day whenever we were shooting that, Shannon. I mean, I thought you did. It was kind of mean. But
well, he was the Skunk Ape.
He was the Skunk Ape. And as Skeeter, I probably deserved it. So
yeah. And this episode is not brought to you by Einstock. I'm just saying.
Not brought to you by a company that we need.
Anyway,
we just need
Roger Corman. Quite a prolific filmmaker.
What a piece of work that guy was, right? I mean, in a good way.
If we go back to our reviews, we talk about John Waters. Didn't all those people come from Corman? Was it?
Yeah, I think Waters even came from Corman. You know who else got his big directorial
John Hughes
review?
or
No, little Opie Cunningham.
Ron Howard. Yeah,
Ron Howard went to work with him, and one of the deals was
that Eat My Dust?
I don't remember whether he directed Eat My Dust or not.
No, but he was really young.
One of the movies he did for Corman in order to be taught how to direct.
Yeah. Eat My Dust is
Corman
horrible,
taught
folks.
a lot of people. Jack Nicholson was in Corman films.
I would have loved to have been around when Roger Corman was kicking these movies out. I would have loved to have been part of that group because these people did things, and Roger Corman is hit or miss. But I've always enjoyed what I've seen, except Eat My Dust.
They're always fun.
It's still Eat My Dust is still fun. It's just a horrible movie. This one has so much potential, and I really feel this movie is hampered by its budget alone. That is it.
Yeah.
I feel the budget and the effects are what hurt this movie. I
was thinking about that too. Like if I were to do this now, or if it were to be redone, I could see some practical effects that need to be fixed, but the digital effects that I would use would be a swarm, and the woman would be communicating with the wasps, and the swarm would be part of her gown. Like, so whenever she points at somebody, the swarm would just come out around her, and you just see almost like a tornado of wasps coming out. That's all I was envisioning last night, was like, oh my God, if they had the money now, the cool shit you could do with that character.
The shit you could do now. That would be amazing.
Fairly low budget too.
Yeah, I just wish I never saw a single wasp in this movie.
I know. Every time they talked about the wasps and they showed the honeybee hive, I'm like, those are honeybees. Why are they showing honeybees?
Wasps. Why do they keep doing that? It's like, surely you could have found some fucking wasp. That's the way I was looking at it.
Nobody wanted to get stung by a goddamn wasp.
But bees sting.
Honeybees will just land on you and fly away 9 times out of 10.
Let's talk about the premise of the setup of this movie. We have the head of a cosmetic company. I forget her name already.
Oh, I have it written down. Hold on. That's a note. I took a note. Her name, the character's name, was Janice Starlin. So it was Starlin Enterprises? Starlin Cosmetic Enterprises or something like that?
Yeah. And it's really interesting. The way this movie starts out, for the most part, is the general gist is she's running a cosmetic company. Sales are down, and she's the face of this company.
Yeah.
and she realizes she's getting older. She's like 30 something, but in models, she's ancient.
Yeah.
So she's trying to find a way, and she herself has been researching wasp royal jelly, which is
Well, it was
interesting.
just royal jelly in general.
Yeah. But she had mentioned
I
wasp
think.
out of nowhere, though, and that kind of struck me as odd.
I think that was because of the letter she got from the old guy, from
You know what? I think
Doctor
you're right. I don't know what his name is.
Zorthrop,
Zoetrope,
Xenotrope,
xylophone, Dr. Xylophone, uh,
Zinthrop, Eric
Zinthrop.
Zinthrop. Yeah, I
Yes.
wrote it down and I still had a hard time
So
remembering the guy's name.
she hooks up with a scientist who has
Right.
found an enzyme from the wasp royal jelly that is
Hmm.
different than from the bees. It's like more stronger. It causes more regenerative. And basically, he tries it out on, I love this, a guinea pig, and turns it into a mouse.
It
It
turned
was
into a white rat.
it was supposed to be a smaller version, like it had gotten younger. And she, of course, became obsessed with it because that was going to be her face and everything.
I gotta talk about that for a
Let's
minute.
talk about the rat.
Uh, so basically, when the guy shoots the guinea pig, the old guinea pig that looked like it had mange,
Poor thing.
you would think that they would have just gone out and bought a baby guinea pig that looked kind of like the guinea pig that he
Yeah.
injected, right?
No.
But they
That's
didn't.
a
They
throw
went
mouse
out
in.
and bought a white rat that was a little bit smaller than the guinea pig, but it was obviously a white rat.
Yes.
And I looked over at Kat. I said, "Why would anybody take that injection at this point? Because you'd be like, well, what the fuck is that going to turn me into?
Well, exactly.
What
What
the hell? Am I going to turn into a barking dog? What? I don't know.
before I forget, where did you watch this?
I think I watched this on Amazon.
Okay, I
It's on
did
Amazon.
too. And this particular link that I used on Amazon,
Uh-huh.
the colorization of this movie is horrible.
I turned it down to black and white.
Um,
Anyway, the thing was a rat, and I just looked over at Kat like, why on earth would you inject that into yourself?
I
Now,
know, right?
nowadays, if you did this movie, I could see where this could be really kind of cool, honestly, because you'd have a genetic engineer, doing something, and they would already be working for this freaking lady. She wouldn't have been pulling somebody in from the outside in a movie now, because I guess all these freaking labs have super scientists, crazy people working
Oh,
for
I'm
them
sure.
anyway.
Nazis. They
Yeah,
probably
they're all
grabbed the
fucking
Nazis from World War
Nazis.
II. Yeah. Yeah.
Yes, all scientists are Nazis at some point, is all I'm saying. I can't prove it. I'm just saying it.
Some people say that they're Nazis.
Some people say they're Nazis.
Yeah. I'm
Not
not
all.
saying it.
Except for the Jewish scientists who are not.
No. But
And
are
they're the
they?
only ones you can trust.
We want to know.
Um,
Wow, where did we go with this? Anyway, back to the scientist and the wasp and the
you're
royal
going to
jelly.
have to edit that part out because, yeah, that's going to be ugly. God, can we start over?
No, we're
Yeah.
keeping all of it in. Nazis and wasp.
Nazi scientists working. Nazi scientists working for a cosmetic company. Not unheard of, is all I'm saying.
Yeah.
So
Why
I'm not going
not?
to name any companies because I don't
So
want to get
anyway, anyway, so I mean, basically, she finds a scientist who has tapped
killed.
the potential of the enzymes of the queen wasp and using her
And all
royal
his
jelly.
tests are working.
All his tests do work, regardless of the fact that the guinea pig turned into a rat. They just pretended it was a baby guinea pig, that the cat turned into a kitten. What's interesting is all of this worked, but it didn't work right. There were problems, there were complications that happened, and the scientists found that. And he was so distraught over that, he stepped out into traffic to kill himself. Instead of saying, hey, stop, we got to stop, I'm just going to kill myself.
See, I don't think he stepped into traffic to kill himself.
You think he
That's
was
not
just
how I took
distracted?
it. I
Okay.
think he was just like so wonked in the head. But my problem was
That's how I
how
took it.
he finds out that this doesn't work is he's done the experiment on the old shabby cat. At least they went and got a kitten. At least it wasn't like
Yeah.
a puppy, you know.
It was a bullfrog.
It was turned into a bullfrog. But anyway, they got the guy. He. I'm not going out there this time. They can just bark all day. Um, he gets the cat, jumps down. The cat somehow gets out of its kennel. He jumps down from this locker, and he just basically smashes the cat's head and twists it and kills the cat. And I'm thinking, I've had cats get spooked and jump on me before. I've never grabbed one and tried to twist its head off and kill it.
Yeah.
I just haven't, you know.
Good luck with that. If anybody's grabbed a angry cat, you're probably going to the hospital. Bottom line, I mean, you are going to be sliced severely.
But he kills the cat, and I'm just thinking, why didn't you just take?
But look at this face. Would that slice you up?
That cat would slice you up in a heartbeat. Look at those claws. Look at those teeth. Look at those gnashing teeth. He kills the cat, throws it down a garbage chute or something. I'm not sure where he put it. But then he's depressed and he goes out for a walk. He's like just stumbling and bumbling around because he's like, oh, my thing's not working. But like you said, instead of calling that lady right away and saying, don't take this, you know, there's work that needs to be done. He kills the cat. This is where I'm really like fixated, because instead of taking the cat, putting it in a kennel and doing tests on it to see find out what's wrong, or just put it in the kennel and go, maybe it was just the cat freaked out and jumped on me. You know, his first initial reaction is to kill it, throw it down a chute, and go walk around town in a dazed fog of stupidity, and get hit by a truck or a car or something.
Yeah, I guess it could have been. I saw that as he was really upset over that. It's like, oh my God, I like somebody with a conscience, and he just went and killed himself, or tried to, and it didn't work.
But initially I thought that, but it was just the way he was walking around.
I can see that.
I just think he crossed the street without thinking. You know what I mean? That's how
I knew when they put the camera on his feet that he was about to get hit by a car. I knew that. Right. That was pretty obvious. So this woman, what's interesting is she starts to transform into a wasp. She doesn't slow down. She takes more because she actually regenerates, and he looks younger and younger, and they think she's like in her 20s. And so she can't get enough of it, so she takes more, and it ends up turning her into a wasp.
That shows to me like that if this is to be remade now, you'd have to show that she was getting addicted to this thing.
Yeah.
Not just the physical transformation. I think she was physically getting addicted like heroin. Because that's how she was shooting it up. She was mainlining that shit.
Oh yeah. But she was also saying, here's a way to grab there's so much allegory in this movie.
Yeah.
This is a good fucking movie.
What would you do?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
I was just saying it's a really good movie, and its budget is the only thing that really kills it.
Yeah, it was a good concept. It really was.
Yeah.
I mean, and you know what? I think if you were going to remake it, I would have to fall back on keep the name.
Yes,
keep the name. Just for you could make it low budget today, and it would still be saved. You could get a better script. Corman was not known for making sure he had a good script.
No, and here's
he got a good enough was him. It's good
and
enough.
This is beyond
the White Rat, good enough.
On that case, it was good enough, but where he shined was the B people, the B reels, and I don't mean B, but the side stories, the secretaries who had their little conversations going on, the other people. It was very realistic.
And a lot of movies of the time that were considered B flicks in his genre or in his vein never did that kind of thing. They never did a story B.
Yeah, he had a B-roll going here that was with the other people, and I thought that was cool. It's like, whoops, just knocked my mic. Sorry, folks. But that's one of the things I found interesting is he had some very believable office space.
And I never thought. I mean, I saw it, I listened to it, and I thought, oh, that's good acting or bad acting or whatever.
Yeah, I just thought
I never put
solid
it in that context until you said so. He actually had B storylines going on.
Yeah,
Never thought about it.
It was well done.
That natural.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If they would have just had some Wasp, and here's my biggest problem with the movie is the fucking mask, the Wasp mask that woman wore. I
Yeah.
don't know. Were those supposed to be eyes? Because they
I
look like
think it
some
was supposed to be.
old
I
melted
think it was
ice
supposed
cream
to be.
cones or something. I
I
don't know
think it
what the
was
fuck
supposed
they
to
were.
be eyes, and I think it was supposed to be like the multifaceted eye.
Yeah,
They
you know
didn't do a
what?
very good job on it.
You could have put a bunch of fucking sequins glued together and it'd been all right.
Yeah, yeah, that would have worked
But
probably
that
better.
was pretty
Um,
bad. And the gloves, the little gloves and the little hat.
yeah, the
Here's
gloves really didn't look right
if
at
I was
all.
to do this today, I would treat this the way they treat werewolf movies. You get the
Uh-huh.
transformation, you see it, kind of like how Cronenberg did with the Fly remake, with Jeff
Right,
Goldblum
right.
making that
Yeah,
transformation.
yeah,
But he
that
didn't
that
go
was
back
good.
and forth. I'm sorry, I hit the mic again. He didn't go back and forth. Here, she would like all of a sudden be overpowered by the drive of the
Right.
Wasp Queen, and she would just kill and eat. Um, it
Would
was
you
pretty
do a
cool.
full, would you do a like an actual transformation? Because I was thinking it would be kind of cool to do a minimum transformation on a character like that
I wouldn't turn
and
her
just
into a
have
whole
her,
wasp. I would like her to be part,
yeah. I
kind of
was thinking
werewolf
like maybe
style.
the eyes would get really big and like some kind of an antenna type of thing
Yeah.
go out. And,
And
I don't know,
maybe
maybe
her
look
hands
make her
would
look
change
more
into like
alien.
little, yeah, and she'd get a
Like,
stinger of some kind. I don't know where she
yeah,
put it on her
on her
butt. I
butt.
don't know.
Stinger on her butt.
On her butt.
Here,
But
take that. Take that. Take that, Donna Jones. Um, I
wow.
I did like a lot of this movie. There like we haven't been really good at getting really bad movies this time around.
No, we haven't. We haven't. We
They've
keep
actually
finding the
most of them.
gems.
The Magnetic Man was kind of bad.
Yeah,
But that
but dude, we've
that
seen
wasn't
so
bad.
much worse.
Yeah. But part of the thing, what I was going to say earlier is, this is a how much is your soul worth, and how much would you give for another 20 years
Yeah.
to go back, de-age 20 years, not lose any of your memories.
Well, and that's what she says. She says, "Here I am, right where I
25.
started, but with all
Hmm.
of this knowledge." And I thought that was really cool.
Yeah, that's very interesting. That's one of those things that actually, when she was saying that, I was like thinking like, what would you do? Really, what would? And you're not harming anybody, but what would you do?
Well, I was
What could you do?
surprised with this script. And
Uh-huh.
and this is one of the things that surprised me because it was that deep. But I mean, it's set up perfectly. We see the doctor at the very
Mhm.
beginning working on a bee farm, and they think he's
Right.
crazy because he keeps messing with these wasps. So you've got that whole setup going. There was a lot of thought put into making this movie. It's just
Mhm.
a shame that it just it looks bad.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed watching it. It's like, you know what? That really wasn't too bad. It was a decent flick.
The slow part in the very beginning kind of got to me because I was like,
Yeah, I
okay,
can
I
see that.
see what they're doing. You had the businessman out there walking through trying to be funny, lighten it up a bit, and that was kind of funny. Not funny, but funny
It could have
sad,
been
not
trimmed
funny
down quite a
haha.
bit right
It
there.
it could have been done a little bit better, but the old guy's setup was good because he literally tells that lawyer or whoever he was
Yeah.
working for whatever corporation he was with, I've got something here that can revolutionize humanity. This is I can make people younger, maybe. It's working on the
Yeah.
dog. Look, the dog is a puppy now. They're the same age, and one's a puppy and one's not. That I don't know why the dog didn't turn into a cat or a turtle, but
I
it
don't
did.
know.
Or a white rat, but but it didn't. But it was a good setup, like you said. Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, it was kind of neat. But I have some bullet
I was
points.
gonna
Would you
say,
like me
what
to go
notes do
through
you
them?
have for us, David?
But the opening credits, we kind of hit on this. Those are bees, not wasps,
Yeah.
in the opening credits.
Bees. There's no wasp in
They
this movie, period.
they kept going. They kept going, except the Wasp Woman, kind of. They
Yeah.
kept going
I don't know
back, and
what that
every time
was.
every time they talk about wasps, they would show that honeybee hive, and I'm like,
Yeah.
those are honeybees. Those are not. I know what a wasp is. I've been
I know. I was
stung
like, what
enough.
kind of
You know,
wasp is that?
stop
That
it.
looks like a bee.
Kind of a slow start, but if you like bad movies, stick with it.
Yeah.
Um, in that opening scene, I do wonder how many people got stung. because
Oh
those are real
my
bees flying
God.
around.
Yeah, they
Those
had
are real
bees
honey.
everywhere.
Those are real honey. Uh,
Now I
combs.
would digitally put bees in. I'd say, screw it.
Right.
We're putting digital
Yeah,
bees.
we're not gonna do that. But these were real bees. I mean, you can
Well,
tell
you
that
know,
they were
and
real bees.
let me pause a second. It just brings me back to reading about Tony Todd when he did Candyman, and they
Right.
covered him with real bees, and they were in his
Oh,
mouth and everything,
oh no,
and he got
no,
stung a
no,
lot. He got stung a
no,
lot for that. Yeah,
no.
yeah,
You couldn't
that's
pay me enough.
they obviously paid Tony Todd enough because it looks incredible when you see those flashback scenes of him
Oh
being,
yeah, yeah. I imagine
covered
it
in honey
does.
and all the bees. In the remake, not the remake or the reimagining, I should say, that
Right.
of the
The new
latest
one.
Candyman,
Right.
they're
Right.
digital. So, and they work fine. I would go all digital just for safety. I'm like, geez,
Yeah, you don't want somebody having an allergic reaction now.
Yeah,
Like back in the 50s, allergic reactions are probably almost not even heard of. But
yeah.
with all
But
the
now,
modified food that we eat now,
yeah, I
everybody's
think it's,
allergic to something now.
yeah.
Back when I went to high school, there was 1 in 100, 1 in 200 kids that had
I brought
a
peanut
peanut
butter and jelly to
allergy.
school.
Yeah, you used to be able to take fucking peanut butter and jelly to
Yeah,
school
not
and didn't
anymore.
have to worry about it. Now
Yeah.
everybody freaks out. It's like, well, maybe stop eating all the genetically modified food. I'm just going to throw that out there.
That's a show for another podcast.
That's another show for another. That's a different Dave rant. Okay, let's get back. I'll get
What?
myself back to the show. Um, she sure handled a bullshit insult really well. Whenever that guy gave her shit at the in the big meeting, the character,
Yeah.
the main character, Janice Starlin, who
Yeah.
was played by Susan Cabot,
She
she
did
was
a
beautiful.
really
She's a
good
very
job.
pretty lady.
Oh yeah.
Um,
Well cast.
and the guy, she's like, well, does anybody have anything to say or why our
I
sales
know.
are slumping? And the
Yeah, I'm
guy
looking
stands
at
up and
it.
basically insults her. He says, yeah, I'm looking at it. He basically says, you're getting old and wrinkly.
Without saying it, that's
Without
exactly what he
actually
said.
saying it, but he's basically saying your face has been on here for 16 years and people are seeing that our cosmetics aren't working as well as they should. And I'm sitting there thinking, dude, if I was sitting in that office with a lady who's put me on the board of directors and
Yeah.
has given me my livelihood, I would get up and punch you in the fucking mouth for insulting her like that. That was the only thing going through my head
Yeah,
is
that was like,
why
damn.
and at the end of it, they're all clapping. Yes, well done. Yes, that's what we're thinking. And I'm like, I would have punched the guy in the fucking mouth.
Yeah,
If I was one of those guys on that board, I would have got up and beat the shit out of the guy. Like,
well
how
in the
dare you?
50s. I doubt there
There's
was that
nothing
many.
wrong with
Yeah.
oh,
Well, it's the 50s. I'm not saying it's right, but
just for
that's
chivalry. Just for
no. I
chivalry
know
rights.
that was
If
really
nothing
shitty.
else.
That was really shitty. I thought
Yeah.
so. But that helped solidify why she did what she did because
Yeah.
she felt that
She
too.
gets her
Now,
own back on.
and that's oh yeah, she takes care of him. But
Yeah.
that's why I say this isn't a good allegory for
Yeah.
a morality play. Basically, what would you
Yeah.
do?
Yeah. That was
And just
well
the
done.
fact that looks, that's all they're focused on. And man, there's so many messages in this movie, and none of it is swung with a fucking hammer in all of it.
No, no, and like until we started talking and chatting, that's when it starts kind of. It's like an onion.
Yes, it's
It has
like an onion.
layers.
It's got layers, and you peel each,
Um,
and then you cry.
well, yeah, and then you cry whenever you realize how your life has turned out.
Yeah.
No, wait, what? What? Why would she shoot herself up, not only not knowing how much to use, because the doctor was giving her the medicine, and
Yeah,
after he gets into the accident, she sneaks into the lab, starts
and she
giving
starts
herself
taking
the
more, which
injection. She was giving herself a lot more,
well,
but not
and it
just that.
shows.
Those jars were all different colors. Like
I
which
know
one? She's just taking random color. I'm like, she doesn't even know
she
what's
just
in
wants the
that.
effect, and yeah,
I
it
mean,
cost her.
but
It cost
there
her.
again, you have to start thinking like the heroin addict or
Yeah,
you'd have to fix that a little bit, I think, to make it more.
yeah,
I
you
need to be
could.
young. I need to be young. I need to be young, kind of thing. Not now, like if in a remake, you give her like an incurable disease.
Yeah,
So she's like, I got to get young so I can not die from this
yeah.
thing or whatever. You know what I
Or
mean?
you'd use the
Maybe
same
that
thing.
way.
The whole cosmetic thing I thought was a great setup. I
Yeah,
really
it was a
do.
good
And
setup. Somebody
it
thought
could
about
be
that.
it could be pretty deep in the fact that they're trying to make something, and this is going to end up in many homes. I mean, man, I could see this
Yeah.
may have an ending that like, oh fuck, they've already shipped everything, and everybody's going to turn into fucking Wasp. So
Oh shit! That you have
yeah,
just opened up like a 3 movie deal right there,
I know,
man.
right? Hey,
Holy
Hollywood,
crap! I
I'll
wasn't
write
even
it. I'll
thinking
write it
that.
right now.
I wasn't even thinking along those lines, but that's a good
Yeah,
idea. That's yeah, we could do this.
I got those sometimes.
Yeah, sometimes, yeah.
Sometimes, yeah,
Sometimes you're pretty smart.
yeah,
Um,
sometimes.
yeah, I already mentioned the cat jumping on him and he kills it.
Oh yeah,
The stock footage is great in this one. It's not overused, other than the bees that they keep showing. But
yeah.
like some of the cityscape stuff that they were using was obviously stock footage, but it wasn't overused stock footage. I
One
didn't
of the
think.
things that was clearly done just to lengthen the movie a little bit was when they were looking for the doctor and driving
Yeah,
around. It's like,
yeah.
come on, you stop somewhere and show somebody a picture and then drive off for the next 5 miles and then show somebody. It's like, why don't you get your ass out of the car and start walking? He
Why
didn't go
wasn't the
far. Where are you driving?
why why wasn't the hospitals the first places you hit? Why wasn't the police station the first places you hit?
No, it
Have you
wasn't.
arrested this man? Has this man come in on a gurney?
Yeah.
Something. But what kind of did you recognize the doctor?
No. I mean, he looks familiar, but
The
it sounded
doctor
familiar.
was Corman. That was Roger Corman.
Are you
That's what
serious?
he looked like as an extremely young man.
Wow.
Yeah, that was Roger Corman. Because it took me a second. I was like, "Oh my God, that looks like. Oh my God, that's Roger Corman."
Oh, damn.
I've heard that he makes like if he's directing, he does the whole "I'm going to show up in my movie" type thing.
Yeah, I always think
So I
that's
thought
really
that was
cool.
kind of neat, just to spot him. And the security guard, the chubby security guard, you know he's going to get killed. They tried to use him as a little bit of like, oh, a little bit of humor relief,
Yeah,
oh,
a little
and
bit.
then
He's
they
got his little
kill him.
headphone in. He's listening to the game. Yeah,
I'm like,
yeah. You
my
knew that was
gosh,
coming.
why? Yeah, he was dead. He was a dead man the minute he came off that elevator.
Yes,
Um,
yes, he
I did
was.
not like the music, the music cues. None of the
Yeah,
music matched
it
anything
did
going
not
on
match,
in
dude.
this
It
movie
really did. You
at
know what?
all.
Let me expand on that. That is besides the low budget and the shitty effects, the
Uh,
music was so misplaced. It didn't make sense. It could have been turned off a lot of times
right,
because it was annoying and distracting.
right,
That's a big
right.
critique. I forgot about that.
Yeah, the music was really, really, none of it fit. None of it
Yeah.
fit the moment. None of it fit the emotions. Like there was one where they're having like this happy diddly dee dee diddly dee dee
Yeah.
kind of thing going on, like a old school jazzy
Yeah.
sound. It was almost upbeat and happy, and I think she was trying to kill the girl on the couch. I
Yes.
think when
And the
they were
music
doing
was
it,
going. Da, 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 da.
and I'm like, wait, what the hell? What? Why are they
It
doing that?
didn't work.
None of it
Didn't
matched.
work.
Um, it ends really abruptly too. I mean, when it ended, it was like done. Just
Yeah.
like a lot of movies in the 30s and 40s did with Dracula, Frankenstein,
Yeah.
the Wolfman.
Just boom.
When it was over, boom, done.
Yeah.
What happened 5 minutes later? Yeah. No, he's dead. The
Yeah.
monster's dead. It's good. We're good. We're going. We're going now. Wait, but the monster's just he could still be alive in the no, we're done. We're going home now. Uh, and like my only note has to do with the rewrite that we were talking about would be
Yeah.
she should be able to have communicated with wasps and create like a hive mind and cause
That would
like
have been cool.
swarms.
That
If
would
I
have
were
been
going to
cool.
do a movie like this, I would incorporate that.
This is a movie. I didn't take any notes, but this is a movie that has potential for a remake, a decent
Yeah,
remake. The budget. It's a good story. This is not a bad movie. I actually enjoyed watching this. Like, you know what? I'm glad I watched it. I'm not upset at all.
I
So
looked at this as it's not a great movie. The acting, some of the actors in it are better than others. Like the
yeah.
lady who played Cabot, well, no, Susan Cabot played
Oh, she was
Janice
really good,
Starling, the
and
main character.
her secretary was really good as well.
Yeah, that I think that was Mary Dennison.
That was Well, I
No,
thought it
no.
was
Mary Dennison
Barbara.
was the character's name. Barbara Morris was, I think, the
Yeah.
real,
Well, with a
is
alternate
actress.
Barbara spelling. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. It's spelled Barbara,
Yeah.
but I'm
Barbara.
sure it's
Yeah.
pronounced Barbara. It's like,
Yeah.
why are you being difficult? Just nobody pronounced her name in high school right.
I
Nobody,
know
no
it.
teacher got that name right. You know they never did. Like what the who why? Um, but Susan Cabot played Janice Starlin. I'm going to go down the list because I think most of these
Yes,
actors and
please.
actresses deserve it. Fred Isley played Bill Lane. I think that was the guy with the pipe. Like
Yeah.
that guy always had a pipe trying to look intelligent. I'm like, dude, it ain't working. Barbara Morris played Mary Dennison, which I think was the secretary.
Yes.
William Rorick was Arthur Cooper, and I think that was the secretary's boyfriend.
Yeah.
Michael Mark, I've seen him in a lot of stuff. That was the
Hey,
doctor, Zinthra.
let's mention the secretary's boyfriend. When she is getting killed or attacked, he's like, she'll be fine. I'm like, what?
No,
When
it's okay.
he was told that she was going to get killed. And he's like, oh, okay. He waits till she's screaming and she's multiple floors up. And I'm like, okay, that was a bad. What the fuck, dude?
Yeah, yeah, you're a good boyfriend.
Yeah, yeah.
That's the same guy. No, is that the same guy, or was it the guy in the pipe that did the insulting?
The guy with the pipe who did the insulting.
Okay, so he
Okay.
gets his own.
Yeah,
But
he
this guy
does.
was he was a douche anyway.
Yeah.
But the guy who played Zinthrop, Michael Mark, I'd seen him in a lot of stuff. He was a Russian refugee, and he was born in real life. The actor was born over in Russia. He was a Jew. He came over to this country with his family. I forgot what his family did, but he became an actor
Mhm.
against the family,
Yeah.
best
And I've
practices.
seen him before as well.
Yeah. He's in a lot, and he's in big budget stuff. He wasn't
Yeah.
always in like these little low budget things. This is 1959 when the movie was made, so
Yeah.
it was like it's probably towards the end of his career, and he's like, yeah, okay, now I'm just going to do fun stuff. Um, Frank Gersel was Les Hellman. Some of these names I don't even remember them saying anybody's name in these, but
Oh, I
Roy
know.
Gordon was Paul Thompson. Carolyn Nantuz, I'm not sure how to pronounce the last name, was Jean Carson. But there was Lynn Cartwright, who played the dark-haired secretary that was telling off the delivery guy.
That was
Her
great. That
character's
was
name
great. She was so sassy. I
Maureen
liked her.
Reardon. She, can't I think, because they said that she played in A League of Their Own. I think she was the older lady that was playing what the heck? I can't think of the actress's name now. My mind just went blank. The main baseball chick.
It's been a long time since I've seen that movie.
Yeah.
But that's a
I
great
think she was
movie
the
too.
older lady, the older version of the main character.
Oh, okay. The one at the very end
Yeah.
who's standing there in the museum seeing all of that.
Yeah, and they overdubbed the voice. I think that's her.
Yeah.
I
You
think
know,
that's because I was
I'm gonna
looking at
brief
her.
I
Go
just
ahead.
want to briefly
Sorry.
pause and just tell our listeners, damn it, if you haven't seen A League of Their Own, go watch it.
It is worth a watch. You know who's even good in that? You know how good this cast is when they make uh my mind went blank again.
John Lovitz,
No,
Madonna.
yes, my mind went blank as I was getting ready to throw out the perfect insult. That's God telling me stop being mean, Dave.
Yeah, don't be a dick.
When the cast is so good, they make Madonna look like a good actress.
Yeah, and the cast is good in there.
The cast is absolutely
Yeah.
superb.
That
That's
is
a
such
good cast.
a well
It's a good
written, well
script.
cast movie.
Yeah, yeah, that is a good movie. If it won any awards, I'm sure it did. They well deserved.
So
Well
funny.
deserved all across the board.
I like watching it. I haven't seen it in a while, but anyway, Wasp Woman. Anybody else in the cast worth note? Yeah.
No, that was
Naming.
literally all that they showed.
Okay.
Like the credits ended with that lady, and I was like,
Wow.
wait, there's a
Yeah.
lot more people in there. But
So what's your final take on the Wasp Woman, Dave?
if you like old good bad movies or bad good movies, it's worth a watch. It's got a lot of potential. Like as I was sitting there watching
Yeah,
it, I realized even a low budget movie today, if you had like a bigger budget, like 10, probably about 10 million, I think you
that's a
can make
low budget to Hollywood.
that's very low budget. That's what I mean. Like a very, very low budget. That's almost a nothing budget. That's like they don't even want to touch shit like that. But that I think is a good low budget movie that you could really make a good movie and you'd probably make a killing. You'd
Yeah,
probably really do good work because you could release it at some theaters and then turn around and release it
yeah.
on like any streaming service and probably get your money back within
It
less
can
than a
be
year.
made a lot cheaper now.
Oh
And
yeah,
that's the thing. When I was looking at that and seeing budgets and stuff and the time, all of that back then was majority of the cost was your film and your
yeah,
developing and
yeah.
everything. The rest, we can, all the editing, all that shit can be done in your house. It's not necessary. It's the film that's expensive and paying actors who, yeah. Anyway,
That's mostly where my idea for budget was coming from because you're going to have to
yeah,
get some fairly good actors. You're going to have to feed them because the actors love to eat.
they can eat
Scott, right?
royal jelly.
Got to eat some royal jelly. That just doesn't sound tasty.
Yeah.
That's all I'm going to say. Somebody said they were going to put royal jelly on a piece of toast to me, and I'd be like, nah, I'm good. I don't know. I don't
No,
even
take
want
the
to know what that
strawberry.
is. Yeah, just give me some of that strawberry jelly or jam, and I'm good. I'm
Yeah,
good. How about you?
I enjoyed this. I think this was a good watch. I was pleasantly surprised. My
Yeah,
biggest complaint is this movie suffers from its low budget, and what I mean
yeah.
by that is I do believe the effects are pretty bad, and even bad for the time. They could have been
Yeah,
better.
Corman
It's
is known for
obvious a
that.
mask. Yeah, and I give it a pass because the story was still there, but man, I would have loved to see her start to make that transformation. I'd like
Yeah,
to see all of that, and you could do that now. But
yeah,
it's
especially now.
especially now, it could be done for probably cheaper than they made the movie then. So
Yeah,
isn't
yeah,
that
sure.
crazy?
Yeah, so I think if you like good bad movies, that's a good bad movie to watch.
Definitely, worth a watch. We still have been trying to find bad things, but don't fear, listeners,
We're
it's
going.
coming.
There's some bad movies coming your way, and
They
they
are
are
coming.
big budget movies. They're
Big, and we
huge
are
budget.
talking hundreds of $1 million budgets. We just a little brief thing. When Dave and I started this podcast, one of the things we had noticed is almost every single episode we make a Star Wars reference. And we're like,
We
we
didn't
should do
make one.
Star Wars, and we're like, no, we're not doing Star Wars. Everybody talks about Star Wars. It's done to death.
Right.
Well, we kept talking about Star Wars
In every episode, just
in
about.
every fucking episode. So now we're doing Star Wars, starting next week with The Phantom Menace,
Okay.
and going through all 11 films. We're not going to touch the series, but we'll talk some about series as we go through it. But starting with The Phantom Menace and the wonderful Jar Jar Binks, and we'll see what comes of that.
Yeah.
So
Respect.
please
Jar Jar.
tune in. Tell us your thoughts. We know you have an opinion. Everybody
Everybody
has
has
an opinion
Star Wars.
when it comes to this. So,
I'm
yeah,
looking forward to this. I
I'm
really am.
really looking forward to it. I can't wait to
And I
sit
didn't
there
think
and
I
watch.
was going to. Like when we first started talking about this, I was like, I don't know. And you were like, I don't know, but we like it. And, so it kind of built. I think it
It's
kind of
gonna
built up.
it's gonna be a journey. It's gonna be a journey. So stick
Because
with us
there's
over the next
11,
few months. 11 films.
11 films. And I'm going to watch
Yeah.
some extras. So I'm going to have a lot to talk about.
There'll be a lot to talk about. So please, when we start that, feel free to join in. Tell us your favorites, what you liked about it, what you didn't like, what if you agree, you disagree. There's there's room for everybody when it comes to Star Wars. I
Yeah.
like the Porgs. Dave doesn't like the Porgs. We can get along.
I just wanted to see the Wookiee eat the Porg in front of the freaking Porg looking up at him. When the Porg
Shut
is
your
looking
mouth.
up with those big sad Porg eyes, woo-hoo-hoo,
I
just wanted to
I don't know you.
see Chewbacca go.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know who that is on my show.
That would have been perfect for me. I'd have been like, that's Chewbacca. That's what Chewbacca would
Oh, yeah.
do. What? That's
So
wrong?
we'll be getting into that. So please join us next week as we start the Phantom Menace and have a little pod racing and baby Anakin.
Now that's pod racing.
Catch you all next week. Have a good one.
Cheers.